Good morning, all. Ira Epstein with your Morning Flash Update, and this update is for Friday, the 9th of June already, 2023, and now you get ready for PSH. What the heck am I talking about? All right, let's coin it. Pause, skip, hike. Which one of the three does the Fed do this coming Wednesday? Right now, without seeing the CPI, and I want to see that number to make a final decision, I lean to the H, the hike. The pause is being defined that the Fed will stop raising rates with the intent of dropping, pivoting down at some point after that. Skip, as they're defining it, is just that. Doesn't mean that you're going into the pause phase where you may fall. In the skip, you may end up with the hike. That's what some people think. In fact, that's probably what the majority think right now. And I'm in the minority at this point with the idea of a hike. And the reason is real simple. You haven't shown me that inflation is falling. You haven't shown me that the labor market is really weakening. And you haven't shown me that wage inflation is down. It's not as strong as it was, but it's not down. Those elements to me are the three elements the Fed has to beat. And to just sit back and skip to see what it is, well, we've already seen two banks do that. The Bank of Canada and the Reserve Bank of Australia. How did that go for both of them? Not so well. So I don't think the Fed will fall into that trap. Could they? I could be very wrong. I'm wrong a lot. But the logic tells me that I'm on the right path with that. Let's see. Does the economy need the Fed to go into a skip or a pause? Look at the stock market. You're back into a bull market category. It's not their job to play the market, but the market is not seen. Let's talk about that. The earnings fall apart. Hasn't happened. I've heard all the diehards all year long. We're going to see it in the earnings. We haven't seen it. I've heard all the diehards tell me on labor, oh, you're going to see in this next report. I don't think yesterday's report on unemployment claims proved anything. That was Memorial Day week. It's a shortened week. You didn't get a full reading. I don't know how to read the numbers. Yes, a 28,000 bump up, and that's a big bump up in the claim, but then a 37,000 decline in the continuing claim. So the people on unemployment for over a week found the jobs, and those just entered were more. Again, Memorial Day week. I don't know what you do with that. So that's where I'm coming from. Now, what we did get yesterday, and I think it's important, is the idea as to what a pause, I'm going to use that one, would do. Obviously, if you don't get an interest rate hike, you saw the U.S. dollar drop rather dramatically. It was down, 70 points yesterday. Minor bounce today, not very much. We saw the gold market come to life, and the silver market was up 80-some-odd cents. And the stock markets all rallied, and you saw that some of the markets, in fact, went back to bull territory. So that's where we're at. As for the energy market, supposedly, there is no talks, nothing going on between Iran and the United States. And even if there were, the more you look into it, Iran's producing 2.7 million barrels of oil a day. They're selling everything they want. The amount of storage that they had at sea in the past year has fallen about 50% from everything I'm reading. They would have to get production up. That would take time. So immediately there would not be the impact that the market put in with a 4% decline at yesterday's lows in prices. That's how I'm reading it. I'm still looking for pullbacks here in the gasoline that I think you can buy for the July 4th holiday as it approaches. And be careful in that gas. You're not getting that hot weather across the country. The seasonal time of the year begins today for a decline into the first part of July on a seasonal basis. So pay attention there. I'd be watching the bonds and notes. If I'm right, you're going to see yields still going up. I think the Fed will go that 25 basis point. As for the news today, well, you don't have any until 11:30 in the supply-demand report, and it's a big report from the USDA. Focus on corn. That seems to be what the market wants to see. If the market, because last time's report, we don't think that the USDA addressed what went on in South America enough. In China, you're looking here, no inflation to speak of. Is this going to be the move now that sets up, and some think that very shortly they're going to tell their banks lower interest rates, and here we go, trying to find a way to spur on the economy. The good news is, as the yuan is falling, and that is good, and the material prices, some of what they're bringing in is less, so they're not putting price inflation there. They're not exporting inflation, and I think that's actually a very good thing. Now, I know that a lot of you like the indicators I put out, and a lot of people we know use a product called TradingView if they don't use our trading software. If you use TradingView, we've put together a suite of indicators for you. We've put together 6 of them for you. It's the swing lines, the moving averages that I use. You're going to also get Bollinger Bands. You're going to get my version of window envelopes along with my version of slow stochastics, and then outside days I'm going to throw in here because they're so important. You can turn those off, leave them on, that's going to be up to you. It pairs with everything I do in this. How do you do this? You go to our website and you go to the charting software area, and right there you'll see where you turn it on. It's very simple. So how do you do this? Well, you can also move your cursor right up here. We'll take you to that area. You can go to iraepstein.com to get there, and you can call my staff if you have any further questions. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day. I'll catch you over the weekend with our market wrap-ups. We'll do the weekly versions. Should be interesting, and buckle in. Next week's going to be a wild week, super interesting. 3 days of trying to figure out what the Fed is going to do, and then the announcement. I think the announcement will be more important than actually whether they raise rates or not. What the Fed says is going to be the key. I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good day.